no idea that there was new Tom Ford Private Blend coming out, did you?
No, I didn't.
And it's ironically, I found out about it in your group, in our group, but your group. People were talking about it. Some people got bottles.
Wow.
I was able to get in contact with one of the people who did it, an early bottle, and I bought the can from him. His name is Ricky Kanda. He runs a business called Alpha Fragrances. He is a great guy, has great service. I bought a 5 ml can of this new Tom Ford called Vanille Fatale. And with that came a letter, a thank you letter. He signs it. Thank you for your recent purchase with Alpha Fragrances.
Wow.
The invoice for what I paid for. But then he also threw in, this is the decant, by the way, nicely labeled. And then he threw in this 10 ml of
Complimentary.
Moschino Woman, yeah, and this
That's awesome.
And this Figment Woman sample. So
That's awesome.
great service, if you ask me.
Cool. Yeah, you can't ask for much more.
We were not able to find any notes on this.
No.
It's so new that there's no info out there for granted because they even have it on their site yet. But what I get is vanilla. I definitely get vanilla, but it's not that cloying, scratchy, girly, syrupy vanilla. It definitely has a luxurious edge about it. But on the paper, I really can't detect any other notes. It's been a long night of reviewing. I started earlier at 2 o'clock at Oswald with the ladies, and here with you, we've done quite a few videos. And so my nose is a little shot, but first impressions is that I smell vanilla in the way that I just mentioned before. I'd love to smell it on your skin.
Yeah, of course. So this actually reminds me of a fragrance that I sampled a couple years back, and it's by Xerjoff, part of the Join the Club collection, and it's called Shun Cohen. And what I remember about that fragrance is that it had this clay, powdery, almost like a Play-Doh vibe about it. And I was smelling this a little bit earlier on today after I had recently applied it, and I thought to myself, wow, this kind of smells like clay, or it has like a Play-Doh quality about it. And then I looked up Shun Cohen because it was only after that I had made that connection that they had some resemblances. And sure enough, people are comparing Shun Cohen to a Demeter fragrance, which is based off of Play-Doh.
Wow.
So it's funny how I made that connection, and it ended up coming to light.
I could see Play-Doh just a little bit.
A tad bit, yeah.
You know, just a tad bit. What I smell on you is a very dry, luxurious vanilla with a very warming effect.
Yeah, it's definitely warm.
It's not spicy like tobacco vanille at all, or tobacco. This is rather straightforward, kind of linear-ish, but good.
It's well composed, but it is simple. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody told me there was sandalwood in here because it has a creaminess about it.
Yes.
And if I had to guess at another note, I would say possibly iris. Just because it has that almost like pseudo freshness to it that iris kind of puts across. Overall, I really like it. But honestly, I think if they took Tobacco Vanille and they isolated the vanilla note with the Accords, I would have liked that one a lot as well. So I wouldn't go as far as saying that I like this more than Tobacco Vanille. I just think it's suited for a different occasion.
It's different. It's not as loud as Effing Fabulous.
No, not at all.
Not at all. This is on the lighter side. It's more like actually the white one, Soleil Blanc. Not in terms of the smell, but how it wears. I found Soleil Blanc very nice, but just very light on my particular skin.
Okay.
If you guys are looking for the follow-up to Tobacco Vanille, this is not the one. There's nothing funky here. It's perfectly wearable. It's very nice. It's definitely worthy of having the Tom Ford name on it, but you know, you'll have to smell it and make that decision on your own.
I mean, it's a very pleasant fragrance. For me, if I had to choose between this or Shun Cohen, I might have to go with Shun Cohen. But Shun Cohen kind of ventures in avant-garde territory, so I would say this is probably the more wearable of the two. I mean, I like it. As a Tom Ford fragrance, like you said, it's worthy of the name. But I don't know, I have a lot of favorites from this line.
Yeah, we do. I don't know that that's going to make my year-end list.
Okay.
Because a couple of other brands actually have released stuff within this month, and I'm damn, I had my list already. I'm going to have to adjust it. This won't probably have an effect on the Tom Ford spots. That's not to say that I hate it. It's just when I want a Tom Ford private blend, I want the more daring, risque ones, if you will.
Sure.
This will find an audience, that I will tell you. There's going to be plenty of people who love this. So I am not bashing it in any way. I have bashed some Tom fragrances, but this one, no. I just can't say that it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Is all that I have to say.
I can respect that, really.
It wears, in terms of performance, like the Tom Ford Extreme. Which Tom Ford Noir Extreme.
Right, the vanilla.
That I love, but just couldn't get behind it because of how close to the skin it wore.
Yeah, I understand that.
Remember that? It's so quiet. It's quiet. Remember when I went through that phase of quiet? When it was too light? Well, this one's quiet, but it smells good. It smells really, really good.
It does, sure enough. Cool.
So, this will be coming out any day now. Probably within the week, 2 the most. It'll be out before Christmas, so I will leave the link to my good friend at the Tom Ford counter at Bergdorf Goodman. His name is Thomas Ruiz. I will leave his information below. Hit him up if you'd like to buy a bottle, maybe get a sample. He was quite appreciative of all the traffic that I drove to him with the last, it was the Tobacco Oud. Intense, yes.
Nice, cool. That's nice.
I love that one.
Yeah, that's
I love that one a lot. I don't love this one. I'm sorry. I gotta be real.
You gotta tell it like it is, yeah.
It is what it is. But definitely not a bad fragrance. Alright, that's all. That's our first impressions of Tom Ford Private Blend Vanille Fatale. If you are new to this channel, please do consider subscribing. If you have been a subscriber, click on that icon thing, bell thing, majiggy.
You gotta do it, guys. Come on. It's worth it.
So you don't miss notifications on future reviews, new content, giveaways, and all the beautiful people here who join me at BFL for all this fragrant fun in 2017. I can't believe it's going to be 2018, so soon, which I will be spending here. So look forward to some New Year's Eve antics from the Gabrielatos home.
And we have a lot of other friends coming over too.
Mr. Carloni, the other co-mod at Redolessence reviews.
For sure.
So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you at the next review.